taking a few hits, not too many. We're doing a good job of clearing those creep waves. Bottom has a nice creep wave coming up, pushing that tower quite nicely. One of them is I'm going to have to disengage. At the top, we do have Caitlyn, who is pushing top lane. And this is one thing you can learn from higher ELO, is that I think a lot of times, typically people push lanes as 5 and think that, you know, they're at the tower, they might as well get the tower. But in fact, that's not generally the case. You know, people at a tower, lower level at least, not, you know, max level with max items, at that level, people generally can defend it quite well, and it's not really advantageous to just sit 5 waiting for creep wave after creep wave to get them cleared. If you have someone who can clear creep waves very quickly on the side lanes and not get caught, then that is very advantageous for them to actually split away. So we did put down a pink ward there, kill that ward that was guarding Baron, and we're able to then you know, just push out that wave. I go ahead and grab bottom wave here. There's quite a significant amount of creeps here. Good farm for me. I think I'm sitting about 120 creeps or so, 130 creeps at this point. I've already finished out my frozen mallet, and I have my boots of lucidity, and then I'm working towards my ghost blade. And that's pretty standard. After that, I'll probably go Atmos Impaler, and then something else to kind of round out my core build. We do see on Messiah, he's going Wriggles for, I guess, some sustain, and now he's building into Madrids to kind of compensate for how tanky we are. We have a nice ultimate there from Ico, and I go in here doing as much AoE damage as I can. The little squishies are too far away from me. I get stunned and I get latched down by Caitlyn's trap. However, I do get the kill off on to Cho'Gath, and now I'm going to flash it over here and go for TF. TF does stand Ico. I flash in though, hit my E, do tons of damage, and this was a extremely good fight for us. I think we only lost one person, so it was 1 for 4, I believe. And now we're pushing this middle tower quite well. I think it was maybe 1 for 3. So we're going to push this tower. Going to go up to the next tower here, clearing out this creep wave. Oh no, sorry, we decided to back off here. We're a little low. I believe we're going to instead go for a dragon since we have that advantage. And it's 15-5 right now. So the enemy team, you could say here, oh, you know, we're just crushing them. And the fact is, no, we're not crushing them. If you look at the towers, we have a couple towers up from them. But they also have 2 of our towers, and in fact, all it takes is a good side push from them or a good team fight, and they're back in this game. You know, they have a lot better pushers of towers, just, you know, seeing as they have Gangplank, they have Trundle, they have Caitlyn, they have TF. Those people can push towers extremely well, and these are things that we're wary of. You know, if we can't win this game in the next few, you know, say 20 minutes or so, it'll become extremely hard because their carry will be, you know, even if the carry isn't getting kills, they'll be able to farm up minions just like we are, and they'll in fact be able to do the damage that they need to compensate for the fact that we are tanky DPS and tanky tanks, and AP and such. So I'm over here. I've got my Ghost Blade now, and I'm going ahead and getting my Atmos. Great, you know, Atmos is really a core item on most tanky DPS just because you don't play a tanky DPS like an assassin. Obviously, some people just go straight up damage. You need the HP, and you need that so you can just run in there and do as much damage. An unfortunate fling from Remo does not get who we want. And we're getting pushed back quite nicely because of Pillar and Cho'Gath, but we do catch Stonewall out of position. We fling Stonewall the incorrect way. He actually gets flung towards his towers, and now I'm going to come in here. I still have ultimate. I pop my ultimate going here. I'm actually going to be able to get the W off on Wonton, the TF, and then coming in here, and I get a double kill off of Cho'Gath, barely getting away with any HP. So much damage going off of me. They really love to focus me, and I'm doing quite a lot of damage to these guys, especially once I pop everything and with all the AoE flying off. I'm doing really well, but just barely escaped there and secure a double kill. So I'm doing okay. I think I'm 4-0-4 at this point, and just really trying to do as best as possible. We do have a little skirmish top. We end up taking out top tower and pushing Trundle off, but Trundle does so much HP, does not die at all. HP, armor, and magic resist, plus his ultimate, and we actually end up losing Singe there, which is unfortunate for us because now they can make a little bit of a push mid. but because they don't know where we are, you know, we did clear that ward. We are able to come up here and catch Cho'Gath off guard and actually make a push towards Baron now. Because without Cho'Gath, they don't have the really tanky force. I mean, they have Trundle, but with the silence and the knock up from Cho'Gath, it makes it extremely hard for us to, you know, to engage if he starts off with that. So Messiah over here looking to scout. We do have Remo up here actually staying here to kind of block them and keep them busy. And they're just basically making sure that you know, we don't actually get Baron. Now we do have Stonewall coming here, try to actually smite it. A nice exhaust off on Stonewall here. We do actually, in fact, lose Dark Shrelia. We're going to pull back from here. We're chasing Stonewall because he's the only target in range. However, there are several other people that are low. But like I said, they're extremely good at kiting. I almost have the kill off of Messiah there with the flash and of course with the proc from my Frozen Mallet, but nice flash from Messiah actually keeps him from dying, so very nicely done there. Flash saves a lot of people this game. So we had a nice, we were knocked up there with Trundle Pillar, and we almost could have been taken out there if it was a little bit more focused on a single person. But we do actually get away, and we're going to go ahead and take out Dragon here and actually catch Messiah completely off guard. I don't know what he was doing. Completely off guard there, and now we're free to push middle yet again. So I'm going to go ahead and take that little Caitlyn trap there, and we're just waiting for the creep wave to actually push this. So Trundle Pillar there prevents any kind of creeps from actually moving up, and Trundle Pillar is actually a really great thing to use in that respects because it slows down all the minion waves to actually get in the tower and allows you to buy time. Now we do inside engagement. Now there is a key mistake that's made here. We should have just been focused on the tower with one of us going for them, you know, pushing them back. But instead, we're kind of like debating it. And so we only actually get the tower. We do get a kill off on TF, but TF is not worth a lot of gold right now. He's not doing a lot of damage. Mommy, in fact, gets caught out of position, knocked up, and is going to end up being taken out. I try to slow down there, but Gangplank actually gets thrown to him, takes him out, and now we're in a bad spot because at this point, it's just me and Aiko versus 4 of them. Not a good position, and a nice Trundle Pillar actually pushes me up towards top, so I'm actually not able to go around. I possibly could have gone through the wall, but just with the exhaust, there was no way I saw me getting away, and I actually do get taken out at that point, which is extremely unfortunate. So this is where I'm talking about, where, yeah, we pushed that tower, but that wasn't a good engage for us at all. You know, they were pretty much, for the most part, half HP, 3/4 HP. Not extremely low, and with their disengage opportunities with silence and with knock up and Trundle Pillar, it can make for a full melee team extremely difficult for us to move in. Plus they're starting, you know, a couple of them I believe are building Thornmail to compensate for me and Garen, and that just makes for an extremely tough time for us to fight those fights. Because we have to kill Caitlyn, we have to kill Gangplank. TF is not a huge threat, but is still a threat if left alone completely. But you know, pretty much we just want to kill Caitlyn as soon as possible. So we go in here, you know, pretty much TF drops like a rock. We go ahead and flip over Caraface, but now we are stuck out of here in position. Again, not a great team fight for us. However, Caitlyn had to go back. We do end up getting a kill off on Cho'Gath there, and at this point we can safely take the inhibitor and then back off. We're gonna go push top after this, not risk taking any damage from the tower. Excuse me, I'm like yawning. And then go up here and just kind of, you know, keep them on their toes. After this, we do need to go bottom, clear out bottom wave, and just kind of reset and regroup. So I'm actually building for a Bloodthirster here to get a little bit more sustain, tiny bit of damage, and this really just will help with, you know, general auto attacks and you know, scale off my abilities quite well. So we're kind of going in here doing a little bit of damage. We need to focus on the tower, which is exactly what we're doing. Remo's trying to do somewhat of a job to clear creeps, just keep people back, and we're almost in here. Remo having to back off. I actually get the kill on the tower. However, a nice stun does kill Dark Shrelia, and now we're in an extremely bad position. Mommy's out of place. He does kill Messiah, but he is stunned, and he's going to end up being taken out there. In the meantime, Aiko here is forced to back off. Mommy does get away. Oh, sorry, Mommy actually doesn't die. Mommy gets away there, and we have the potential of still fighting this with me and Aiko, but once Cho'Gath shows up, this is not a fight we need to be in at all. So on Skype, what we're saying is Aiko is just going to essentially sacrifice himself for us to get away. He's going to stun. He's just going to keep people's attention while the three of us get away. So as you can see, these engagements are starting to become extremely hard for us, more and more difficult than they were previously in the laning phases. They're getting tankier. They are getting able to kite us a little bit better. And just it's getting a little bit difficult for us to do this. As you can see there, Garen, Mommy, he's actually just hanging out there at Baron. We're actually waiting for someone to come with a pink ward so that we can actually see who is doing what. And so we're going to end up putting a pink ward down here, I believe, soon. Kind of see what's going on. Bottom tower is getting pushed, and with those many people at bottom, we decide that it is now safe to actually go in on Baron. So I don't believe we have a ward here. Or no, sorry, there is a ward at the very back. So we do catch the ward there, and we know someone's at the very back because we saw Baron actually shoot up a beam over there. Stonewall is in position to potentially take it out. However, he is doing a good job just keeping their distractions, and we do actually get Baron. Now, at this point, we should have disengaged. That's exactly what happened. You know, Dark Shirelli is very low. We are not in a position. Everybody's taking a lot of damage. For me, I am getting chain stunned and silenced like nobody's business. And when that happens, if you don't see it, I didn't get to actually use my ultimate to the very end. I was mashing it from the beginning, absolutely mashing it. But I was not able to do that. A fail flash from Aiko gets him caught out of position, and he's actually going to get taken out as well. And it is now Mommy left with 2 or 3 enemy teammates still alive. A little TF ulti there actually shows where Mommy is. You know, if you look, Messiah and TF, they're full HP. These are 2 of the squishiest people on their team. They're still full HP. So that was a terrible engagement from us. Absolutely resulted in our deaths. And lucky for us, Mommy is able to get away. And our creeps, super creeps, are still pushing their middle towers, which is a big break from us. If they still had middle tower up, or if they still had their inhibitor, and there was no super creeps, they could have easily pushed that next tower there. Mommy couldn't have done a ton about that. That was our saving grace, is that they had to go to Finn because there's so many creeps. So at this point, I realized that Boots of Lucidity is not what I need at this point. I need Merc Treads. So I believe here soon I actually go back, sell my Lucidity Boots. Yeah, I think that's what I'm doing right now. Sell my Lucidity Boots and end up getting Merc Treads and start building towards a GA so I can just, you know, I've got the damage I want, and I just need to last longer now in these fights and, you know, be able to come back and keep fighting. Because I'm getting chain stunned, and it's really, you know, Renekton isn't so much about auto attacks as he is about using his abilities. And so he's, you know, no mana and champion, etc. So with me, I need to be able to chain up my abilities as much as possible without getting chain CC'd. So at this point, Boots of the City are not worth it for me. I do have a lot of cooldown reduction, and I don't have to worry so much about my abilities coming off cooldown as early. So especially with the higher ranks. So we do get knocked up there, which is unfortunate. We do have Remo, in fact, going in on here. I'm coming in here. I flash after Messiah. Messiah instinctively flashes back as well, which now makes this an extremely bad position fight. And I get caught in a double Messiah trap. He has one and then another, and get taken out. That may have actually been gold card Caitlyn's stun, which is really unfortunate for me. I get caught out of position like that, and we're going to, you know, again, have a terrible engagement. So they're starting to have, you know, better proper positioning, and positioning through the means of their tank knockups and through stuns and through everything like that. Mommy is now going to get taken out here as well. And we're starting to have great issues fighting them. You know, we're this close, but if we can't secure, you know, their inhibitors, and if we can't secure their Nexus towers, we can't push them. And you know, we do end up having bottom tower taken out, and now 3 of them pushing mid here are going to end up taking out our middle secondary tower, and then move on to our inhibitor tower potentially. Lucky for us, they are still scared because it is Remo and Shirelli, so they don't want to engage on that. And so we're going to actually be able to move up here. Now, we were trying to possibly get them on the run. However, Remo didn't catch the memo that we were disengaging from that, and in fact gets caught off guard and taken out. And this is extremely bad because he is extremely tanky, does a lot of damage because of his persistent poison. And if they choose to actually engage on here, then we could potentially have some problem of just not being able to stay alive long enough and do enough persistent AoE damage. Lucky for them, they decide to just play it safe, push out the lane some, kill their creeps, get their creep inhibitor, creep camps taken out, and we in fact are enabled to get Singed back up and running. So now we're as 5, we're moving as a 5. Baron is now up. We're going to place a ward there, and I end up pulling up the camera just a little bit so you guys can see the battlefield a little more. Cho'Gath now does sport, in fact, a GA, which is a little bit troublesome because he's going to be able to knock us up and, basically dive on us, and we are going to have to waste time, turning off GA. So we're kind of just going in here, taking out their creep camps. We were going to go for a Baron, but they were out of position. We also see now that Gangplank, in fact, as well, does have a GA, and we see there that Amumu now sports a Thornmail, a Frozen Heart, Aegis of Legion, Merc Treads, and a Warmogs. So, everybody's pretty tanky here. We see that there's someone out of position. We see Stonewall and Cho'Gath coming in here, and I believe, yeah, there's the Pyro ulti again. And if Stonewall could possibly time it, he could get the smite. He does miss the smite, though. However, we do end up securing it, and now we instinctively back away, which is something we should have done in that previous fight. So the enemy team makes somewhat of a mistake right now. They chase after us with Singed poison, continuously poisoning them, and we're poking them pretty decently, and we're getting nice little engagements on there. Kara actually gets caught out of position, flipped back under the tower. The tower does go down, but we do end up taking out Kara's GA extremely quickly. Now, with that up in mind, we also take out Cho'Gath's GA. But look at Mommy at the top. I want you to focus up on Mommy. I get the double kill here, but Mommy pushes back all 3 of them, all 3 of their big damage dealers, and prevents them from even being in the fight. So that 5v5 ended up being basically 4v2. So we took them out, and then we were able to disengage and get back into the fight versus TF, and now it's 5 versus 2, and this is pretty much GG at this point. There's nothing that Caitlyn and Trundle can do. We're at almost full HP for the most part. We now have a nice wave of creeps pushing mid tower here. They're going in, they're taking out the inhibitor. Messiah is at somewhat low HP. He's going to have to disengage here to actually heal back if he wants to defend. And they're in an extreme amount of trouble. We do flip over Stonewall. Stonewall finally gets caught out of position. We end up taking out... Oh, no, we don't end up taking out Stonewall. He flashes away at the last second, even after Garen's ultimate. And so it's just them 2 versus us 5. And this is GG at this point. Messiah is getting pushed back. There's nothing they can do. They can't do that much damage. And we end up winning the game. So it was really close there at the very end. I thought this was a really well played game. There was mistakes made on both teams, but this was somewhat of a try-hard game, even though we were going pretty much predominantly tank. So I hope you guys enjoyed this game. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the team makeup. Do you think that this shows tanky DPS as being overpowered if you go in mass, with tanky DPS with AP hybrid tanks? And what did you think of everybody's play? If you guys enjoyed this, please, of course, remember to like, favorite, etc. if you like that. If you're not already subscribed to me, please subscribe to my channel, League Top 10. This has been Spunkify. I enjoyed you guys' company, and I'll see you later, Spunkify.